Let's bring out the starters for your Orlando Magic. At the power forward position, 6'9", number 23, Tristan da Silva. Standing at center, standing 6'11", number 35, Goga Batose. Starting at shooting guard, standing 6'5", number 3, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. At guard, 6'4", number 4, Jalen Suggs. At forward, 6'10", number 22, Ron Wagner.
Hello, basketball fans. You've got it on 2K Sports as we get set to bring you an exciting NBA basketball game. Alongside Richard Jefferson, Greg Anthony, and our reporter David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. And we got another seat right here. In the NBA, no better insider than Shams Charania. Hey, Shams, great to have you with us.
Thanks a lot, Kevin. It's great to be here. I'm honored. I'm privileged.
Look at Richard Jefferson. He's like a kid in a candy store. He cannot wait to talk to you.
Yes, we love RJ.
Now a chance to take a look at some numbers for Jalen Suggs.
And guys, for a measure of how he's performing offensively, look no further than the true shooting percentage. There's been a steady drop in his last 5 games. And he's got to be scrambling now to get that feel back.
Now a look at Philadelphia's starting lineup. George in the front court alongside Martin. Ari out there with Kelly Oubre. And it's Embiid in at the 5 down low. And for Orlando, sliding in at the wing, we'll see Caldwell-Pope and Wagner. Then there's Jalen Suggs. And it's De Silva in at the 4. You know, Shams, you cover transactions all day long, all season long. And the Sixers have not been shy about making moves.
No other team has been more aggressive when you think about trying to figure out this puzzle around Joel Embiid and around Tyrese Maxey. They've always been movers and shakers. This is a franchise that bears watching moving forward, just seeing exactly what moves they make.
They always make headlines. You're exactly right. Lowry looking around. Pass to Embiid. Over Suggs. Will not go. This is off the front iron. And Wagner's got the ball here for Orlando. They defeated Indiana in their last game.
Yeah, in that one, they just locked it down defensively, challenged shots, and really protected the rim.
They were very disciplined on that end of the floor, staying attached to shooters and disrupting plays with their active hands.
Yeah, just solid work on the back end of that play.
Yep, you're right. Finished hard with 2 hands on that stuff. A moment now to hear from our sideline reporter, Hall of Famer David Aldridge. David.
Hey, Kevin, I did speak earlier with the Magic's head coach. When I asked him how hard it is to game plan for Paul George, he just chuckled. He said he's one of the hardest guys in the league to guard. I really challenged our team to make sure we're communicating whenever he has the ball. It will be, as always, a team-first approach to slowing down PG-13. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, David. Here's Bitadze. Pass to Wagner. The jump shot from the baseline is right on target.
Wagner able to get that one lined up from mid-range.
Lowry against Suggs. Here's Embiid. And, yep, finally drops after rolling around the rim.
And hitting the mid-range jumper here early gives the defense just another thing to think about.
And you don't see many teams take these shots as often anymore. It's nice to see them take advantage in this area.
Here's Wagner after the made shot from Joel Embiid. Caldwell Pope feeling it out a bit. Those three-pointers off the mark. 76ers have gone 1 of 3 for the field to start this one so far. Here's Martin. Got a hand on it, and they recover it. And the shot goes in from Embiid. If you're just tuning in, we've played about 2.5 minutes here in the first. Oubre against Caldwell Pope. Pass to De Silva. And they pick up 2. And things can get so intense when NBA rumors start flying, Shams. You know that. The teams are just kind of holding on sometimes for dear life. What is it like when you break a major NBA story, like you've done numerous times?
It's like when your heart skips a beat, Kevin. It's like when you feel like you are in such a rush, and there's a surge of excitement that hits every particle of your body. Every profession obviously has a big payoff, but everything happens so fast. But when it happens, it makes all the hard work worth it. But it certainly brings a great feeling, and I definitely get goosebumps to this day.
You get goosebumps, but the hard work you put in to get that story, I know what you guys go through. It is amazing the hours you spend on it.
365, 24/7.
Wow. And Embiid, no good on that one.
Shooting over 80% from the line during his career. Embiid is not only one of the best free throw shooting centers in the league today, he's one of the best all time.
Now here's Caldwell Pope. And looking at his production, he averages a little more than 7 points a game. 4 on the clock. Pass to Bitadze. Played in with a nice touch off the glass.
Yeah, becoming better at setting up his teammates, and KCP delivers that pass on target.
Lowry against Suggs. Lowry passes to Oubre. Here's Embiid. Embiid sets the pick for George. Back to Embiid. Just over 3.5 minutes gone here in the first. Off with the layup. The Magic have gone 50% from the field to this point, 4 of 8. Pass to De Silva. Wagner against George. Fouled in the act of shooting. Gets the bucket anyway, so a 3-point play chance for him.
A nice balance by Wagner, taking the hit like a champ and working through it.
The Magic shooting their first free throw of the night here.
And as a unit, they're shooting 78% from the line. That's a solid number to work with on the season.
The latest CBA introducing the second apron, limiting Shams what teams above the cap can do. How does that new rule affect teams?
Decision makers tell me that they're very much keeping an eye on the second apron, not only of their team, but others, and teams that will have to shed salary because of the second apron and the amount of big contracts we're going to see teams give to players. You're going to see it at the top, but that may dwindle in the middle of their roster. But we will see a more competitive league because of these new CBA changes, and less of a chance of super teams, and just more parity and dispersed talent.
Do you constantly read over some of these CBA agreements? I would assume that you do, to have a full understanding of terms like the apron, like we just talked about, or all the other things, the luxury tax, all the things that make deals possible.
It's one thing to have luxury tax. It's a whole nother animal now to have the second apron. That, certainly for teams that are deep in the second apron, that limits their ability to go make major trades, to be able to sign players for more than the minimum. And we're seeing that happen to at least one or two teams around the league right now. So how will that impact things? But certainly the CBA being 50, 60, 70 pages, that's something you pour through before every calendar year.
It is just fascinating. We have the break in the action. Let's show you the teams that have been making their opponents work especially hard over the past 10 games. Number one, the Magic.
They've dialed up the defense in a big way. You've got to get creative if you're going to find ways to score against them these days.
And Philadelphia has possession. It's a 5-point game. Tough loss coming against Cleveland in their last game played.
Yeah, I mean, they had their chances, competed deep into that game, but had a few lulls there that just kind of took them down.
They played pretty solid basketball, but a few miscues is all it takes to turn a win into a loss, especially against a good team.
3 on the clock. Here's Lowry. De Silva with the rebound.
I thought he had that all sewn up, but somehow the defense just threw him off.
And Charms, I've always wondered, watching you, reading you, when did you first fall in love with the NBA? And when did you decide to cover it?
Really, when I was around 10, 11 years old, I grew up in Chicago right as the Bulls dynasty was starting. I wasn't quite old enough, but I was old enough to see some of those scrappy Bulls teams in the mid-2000s. And basketball was always a part of the national discourse, but also part of my life playing it, and then now being someone that's able to inform the audience and the public.
You know what? I'm looking up and down this table. I think we all feel the exact same way. The 76ers again can't hit it. Orlando leading by 5. And here is Suggs. Still yet to score. To the inside. Here's De Silva, covered by Martin. Suggs looking around. And it's Joel Embiid with the rebound. Embiid's got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight. The shot by George, wide open. That's in, coming off the assist from Embiid.
And you love the way that PG can get you a bucket on and off the ball. That versatility speaks volumes.
Now here's Caldwell Pope. We saw him with 10 points last game. Wagner against George. Another miss by Orlando. And here's Embiid. He'll bring it up for the Philadelphia 76ers. Trailing by 2. And this game, the first chance they've had to see Orlando.
And in this matchup, last season, not one of the games went their way.
George, no good.
And to put things simply, this has not been his work.
Oubre against Caldwell Pope. Pass to Suggs. Wagner outside. Rebound by the 76ers.
Just doing the job on the backboard.
George passes to Embiid. And the basket is good. He's got a chance here for one more at the line. Hey, Sean, for the past decade that you've been a major player in the NBA, it's been LeBron's league, it's been Curry's league. Who else is going to take over this league, you think, coming up around the corner?
Given the NBA Finals we just had, have to throw in Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Luka Doncic into the fold as far as faces of the NBA. But Nikola Jokic is so good. He will be one of the guys. But ultimately, you have to also keep an eye on Victor Wembanyama, the way special Victor Wembanyama is someone to keep an eye on.
Okay, they've just passed a note down to me, our gang here. What about Anthony Edwards at Minnesota? He's another one, right? Young American player who is really making an impact.
Anthony Edwards, Devin Booker, you have to consider those two as well. And it's special, the crop of young players that we have coming up in this league. One of them is sure to emerge as this generation's, whether you want to call it Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, there will be a face out of this crop.
And we cannot wait.
And a moment now to look at the numbers for Lowry. He's averaging 7 points a game, 3 assists, and 2 rebounds. Nothing about his numbers really jump out at you, but he'll come up with a timely play or two every game.
And that's what you need from some guys on the team. Not everyone can be an all-star. You need glue guys to find that success too.
Orlando trailing here. Now, here's Suggs. Still without a basket. Caldwell Pope against Oubre. And he gets the whistle. 2 free throws coming up. Shams, with as often as you've interacted with front offices all over the NBA, have you noticed any changes with how franchises operate with both the players and the media and that relationship and where it may be headed?
Everything has to be more specialized now in the organizations, but you're seeing true partnerships develop with teams and their players, especially their top players. The teams have to pay more attention now to data, to metrics than ever before. And the relationship between your top players in the organization, that is very, very important. And the teams that do a good job of managing relationships, of managing expectations, that is clearly what separates the elite teams with the bottom teams. And certainly players in today's generation are very, very polished when it comes to the media.
Oh, you framed that so well. And Caldwell Pope drops them both.
No surprise there. He's about as automatic as it gets from the stripe. I hope I didn't jinx him.
Outside, Martin. Here's Lowry. Taking a look at his numbers, he averages about 7 points a game. And that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul. It's on Jalen Suggs.
Oh, such a crafty player. Lowry excels at using his body to draw contact.
The 76ers have gone 1 for 2 on the night so far from the line.
Shooting 2.
And the first one at the line is good.
And you know, Lowry, the consummate floor general, his leadership on the court and in the locker room really brings this team together and makes them an effective unit.
Yabusele, he's checked in for Joel Embiid. And Kyle Lowry drops them both. And Shams, we know you are so connected and on top of so many great stories and players and trends in the NBA. I have to ask, what is your, like I'm talking to my teenage daughter, what is your screen time like? You've got to be in front of that computer and clearly in front of your phone every minute, or at least most every minute of every hour of every day.
It's not as high as it needs to be, Kevin. I'll tell you that much. And thankfully, it's not always like that, but certainly at the biggest times of the year, free agency, draft, trade deadline, it is certainly up there, almost in the 19 to 20 range. Kevin, what's your screen time? I feel like you might have a high screen time. You want to be plugged in. I know it.
I take 2 months off in the summer, but for those 10 months, it's 7 days a week, a lot like you. But I know how much happens in the offseason. That's my interest in sitting next to you here courtside tonight, is that you're watching this game, but your mind is always thinking about this and that, and it never ends. Like, you must not get much sleep. You cannot get much sleep, right? My goodness.
We do get sleep, but your offseason is my season, Kevin, and I want to make sure as we get this season going, I'm able to inform you.
And you always do. You always do. Time now to turn to our sideline reporter, David Aldridge. David.
Kevin, thanks. At this point in his career, Paul George says he's in bully mode. He said, every night I'm on the floor, I'm there to dominate. Whether it's being more physical or going right at whoever I got to go at, you're going to feel me. I'm having that approach every time. I'm there to destroy you. Kevin?
Wow. I love it, though, D.A. I got to admit it. Awful powerful. Thank you. So, for the Magic, Harris comes in for Wagner. And Black's subbed in for Jalen Suggs. And then for Philadelphia, Andre Drummond's checked in for Martin. Gordon comes in for Oubre. And it's Jackson in for Kyle Lowry. Now here's Gordon. He averages a bit over 6 points a game. Here's George. And he didn't get quite enough under that one.
Nothing seems to be going his way this quarter.
Yeah, straight up, guys. Like, he's ice cold, like freezing. What's colder than cold? But you don't have to shoot it, my guy. It's okay to pass the ball.
And while we have a change here, the teams that have swatted away the most shots this season. Fifth on the list, the Magic.
I mean, terrific rim protection. I mean, they rotate and help on the inside as well as anybody. And, of course, you want to keep offenses on the outside shooting jump shots, and that continues to be the goal.
Now, here is George. He's been a nice option for them offensively, and he's averaging more than 17 points a game. When you look at the NBA, Shams, any changes you'd like to see?
To me, it's having players stay healthy, right? I would love to have a rule that players just play and the top players are there playing the most meaningful moments of regular season games and allowing players to have freedom defensively. And the league can find plenty of other ways to discourage players, but to allow players to really be there in the big moments, to defend at a high level. And I would just love to have a healthy serum that we can spread around the league and keep these guys on the floor.
I think here at the table, we're all nodding our heads, looking up and down. We all agree completely with what you're saying.
And you know, George is a tough cover. The length, the range, smooth athlete, very difficult to match up with.
And George drops them both.
And what I love about Paul George, the production year after year after year.
Timeout. And Jamal Mosley has called timeout. This will give him a chance to discuss some potential alterations.
Dance Cam. Get ready, everyone. You see yourself on the screen, and you show us your best moves. Let's go. Get down. Let's see what you got.